are live. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not going to happen. Let me actually scoot up so I can be in the mic because I got a lot to say. But joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. Y'all say what's up to her.
Happy Sunday. Thank you for having me. Like the video.
Yes, like the video, subscribe to both channels. Please subscribe to Mrs. Best's channel as well. Any reviews or recaps I don't cover on my channel, it's because we cover it on her channel. We have Real Housewives of Miami, Basketball Wives, and also The Valley, all premiering on her channel. On my channel, I did the fashion reviews for The Valley for Mrs. Best. We went into it. Please check out that video. We also have The Real Housewives of Atlanta. We gave our opinions on what they wore for the reunion. So if you like fashions, you like looking at the outfits, want to know my opinions, go ahead and check out that video when you get done with this one. Also, please subscribe to Shana's channel as well, Shana_MCD. She has two channels. She has a regular channel and a backup channel. It's all in my description box. Please subscribe to both channels so that we can keep Shana here on YouTube. We want her to get remonetized. We want her to stay. So definitely subscribe to her channel. Now, this is Somebody's Son. This is the season finale. They are not having a reunion from what I understand. So we don't know where they are. I'm still working on getting Shambrielle on my channel sometime in the near future, hopefully within the next week or so we can kind of get like an update on what's going on. How did she get on the show? I just want to know a little bit more of how the show was presented to her so I can get a better idea, wrapping my head around it. Also, another person on this cast who made it into my comment section was Miss Katina. Her son is Chad. She made it into my comments and had a whole lot to say. So shout out to Miss Katina for one, discovering Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Shout out to Miss Katina as well. But yes, she also made it onto my channel to give her opinion and give her insight, because I think we kind of went a little too harsh on her. No, I don't think I did. I don't think Mrs. Best did, because we just gave our opinions on what the situation was, and she had a lot to say. So we're going to be respectful to our elders. Please do not find her comments and attack her or anything like that, you guys. Be respectful, because that is somebody's mama, and she is only coming on the show for her son to find somebody, and he actually didn't. So we're going to lead into that. Chad actually did not end up with any of the ladies. Jasmine was kind of there because two of the ladies went home on their own, and Katina is the one he was interested in home immediately. So he ended up with Jasmine. She politely rejected his offer to be exclusive, and he is now single. So we get Chad out of the way. So now we focus on Josh and James. So we'll start with James first. So James has a conversation with Charlize, and they are picking back up with the conversation that happened between her and Alisia. Now, Alisia wrote Miss Charlize a letter expressing how she felt about the judgments that Miss Charlize has had on her. And she's telling Chad about everything. And Chad said that, James, not Chad. James said, yeah, you were a little harsh, like with her, with the whole calling her mom, her God situation. And Miss Charlize is unapologetic. Miss Charlize said, I felt what I feel. This is how it is. Chad is, I keep saying Chad because they look alike. James is saying, listen, mom, like you do this a lot where I bring home somebody and you just pull her apart, you peel back the layers, trying to find a flaw. And then when you find it, you never let it go. And she absolutely does that. Miss Charlize, I'm telling you, James, I'm being honest with you. Mama is the root problem of why you don't have no woman. You need to stop bringing them home. Stop bringing women home to her, because she's never going to, and I don't know what this could be about. I don't know why she has such a stickler for the women you bring home. I don't know. It's because she feels like maybe they're not good enough for you. Maybe she thinks too highly of you, but she is the reason. She's 100% the reason. And we'll get to that at the end. But I didn't like her judgment of Alisia. I kind of felt like it was wrong of her to do. You may not like the young lady, but at the end of the day, she's done nothing to you. She's respected you. She's respected your son. She has stayed in bounds. So I don't know what could be wrong. But how did you feel about the opening scene with Miss Charlize and James? I keep wanting to say Chad, and that's not his name.
Miss Charlize is the common example of why a lot of good Christians don't go to church. People like her are everything wrong with church. Everything that she represents is the opposite of what you would think of having to deal with when you're around a bunch of people trying to connect with God. So that's one. Two, Miss Charlize, your feelings, no matter how you feel about it, according to your Bible, they're wrong. You are judging this girl because her way of being spiritual does not match your way of being spiritual. And the Bible says, and the Lord expects you not to judge. That is not our job to do. So she's violating and going against her own religion through her judgment. Lastly, I need people who go to church to stop thinking they're better than other people.
That's a word.
Nobody's better than anybody. Going to church doesn't make anybody good. It doesn't make anybody bad. I think it's stupid to judge people based on shit like religion, sexuality. That's weird. The girl has been kind to your son, can support herself, and has been respectful of you when you know you trying her. So I'm not surprised in Miss Charlize, but I'm also like annoyed.
I'm annoyed with her too because it kind of feels like if this is a repeated pattern, I don't know why she doesn't self-reflect and think, okay, well, maybe I need to show up differently because my son is getting disappointed with the simple fact that I'm now being a wedge in between the women that he brings home. Because she said he brings home strays all the time. And it was like, I need to stop referring to women as strays just because they don't show up the way you do. It's very weird. But he also tells her about his date with Sabrina and that, he felt like, their date made them a little bit more connected. And, he was, at first he didn't know what to think about Sabrina. But now he, this decision, because it's now the final day, it's really hard on him. So he doesn't know what to think. And she actually was happy. She was jumping for joy. She was like, yeah, I'm glad you like Sabrina. Yeah, she aligns better with our values and everything. Just trying to sell this lady on this man because she knows his mind is on Alisia. So it's time for James to pick. It's time for James to pick. So James has, and the way they edited this was weird because they kept cutting it off right where he was speaking, and we don't know what they were trying to do. I guess they were trying to confuse the public on that, but the best way to do it is to have the one he's not going to pick first, have them have the conversation, and the one he does pick, have her go last and keep it on that scene. I don't know why they did it like this, but, he tells Sabrina that, as great of a woman as she is, on paper she is well, but there is a physical attraction that he does not have towards her, that it would be wrong for him to pick her knowing that that's something that is lacking. And as me and Mrs. Bethel said, physical attraction is very important in a relationship. People might not think that it is, but it is highly important. Like, at least if you're not going to be fully physically attracted, at least do what I do, which is find a physical trait and never let that go. Because then everybody will be attracted to you with that same physical trait. So do something like that. But yeah, if you're not physically into someone, don't do that. So he picks Alisia against his mother's judgment. Even on their way up there, she had an attitude because she knew he was going to pick Alisia. So she had an attitude. She was quiet. She didn't miss. Charlize didn't want to say nothing. And, they started arguing before he made his decision. And it was kind of like, oh, see, you one of them mamas. You one of them mamas that when your grown-ass son doesn't do or doesn't move the way you want him to, you want to pitch an attitude and a bitch fit. I don't like that. How did you feel about Miss Charlize in the car with him on his way before he made the decision?
Childish. Grow up. The Bible also says, Miss Charlize, that your son is supposed to leave you and cleave to his wife. How he's supposed to do that if you're getting in the doggone way, lady? Right. At first, I was like, maybe she's playing it up for the camera as like, the religious mom that's a little bit overbearing. But he kept saying stuff prior to them leading up to like him choosing who he wanted. He kept making comments like to the camera in the confessional, alluding to, like James said, there being a pattern of his mom doing this in the past with women that he's taken seriously. So I'm going to reserve my thoughts on what I think James should do until you continue on. But I'm not surprised by her attitude. She's one of those manipulative parents that say, I'm going to allow you to make a choice, but then she's going to throw a fit and her behavior is going to make you feel some type of guilt for making that choice. Mm-hmm. She's a mess.
She is. So it comes time for the one he does pick, which is Alisia. And, Alisia's energy is different. I noticed Alicia's energy was kind of shifted. So when he asked her, he said, I would like to be exclusive with you. She takes a breath and pauses and looks down. And I said, oh, shit, she's going to end it. And she says that I'm going to respectfully decline. I had a lot of time to think about this. I had a lot of time to reflect on this, and I just do not think we will be a great fit with each other right now. And you could tell James wanted to cry because he knew what had happened. He knew why she said no. But she gives him a really big hug, before, and you could tell he really didn't want to let her go. He really like wanted her to say, please change your mind. Like, I'll do something about my mama. Please change your mind. But he sticks to the gut. He's breathing. He says in the confessional, I'm really upset right now because I know why she's doing this. I know what this is. This conversation is way too familiar. And I said, James, if the conversation is familiar and the conversation is similar to some situations in the past, then why do you continuously do this to yourself? I'm going to make something clear to all you people watching. People, although I have a relationship with my in-laws and I'm grateful for it because they're cool as hell, you don't have to have a relationship with your in-laws. It does not have to happen. Like, I'm saying this as like a way to keep the peace. If you really are in love with your partner and they don't get along with your mama, they don't have to have a relationship. You can go see your mama. You can go see your daddy. You can go see whoever you want. I don't have to go. I feel like a lot of people put too much pressure on mamas have to like you in order for me to be with you. And that's not the case at all. Because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, I would never let my mother pick my next person if me and my better half did not work out. I would never let my mother pick. Absolutely. Because my mom would pick for me, I know damn well would not be my type. Not in the least bit factor. So I think that James has to move in a way where when he picks somebody, you got to keep the relationship separate because your mother is never going to like somebody. You could bring somebody perfect to the T. You could have picked Sabrina, and later on your mama would have had a problem with her. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know if James is the emotional husband because she is married. So I don't know what this is about. And I don't know how to really dissect Miss Charlize because we don't really know her too well. But from what I'm seeing of it, there's something going on here. I don't know if James is the emotional outlet where she's able to pour into him. And when he gets somebody, that goes away. I don't know what it is. I'm really trying to figure her out. And she's hard to figure out. She really is. So they walk away from each other. James gets back in the car. And Miss Charlize goes, well, what happened? And he told her, I asked her if she would like to exclusively date me, and she told me no. And Miss Charlize in the confession says, I am so happy this happened. I'm so, I can't say that I'm upset with her because she made the right choice. I'm just so happy. And I'm just looking at her like, wow. At the detriment of your son wanting to be with this lady, you're happy that this lady chose not to be with him? Miss Charlize, you're no good. I'm sorry. You're no good. And I hope when James watches this back, he'll see that you're really the problem. Not the women he picks,
Yes,
but you're really the problem.
James knows that his mom is the problem, which we saw when he was explaining how this pattern of her having issues with girls he dates comes about. It tells me that his mom's not busy enough, number one. This is not a 75-plus-year-old in-law. Okay, these are younger people dating. Their parents are, they're not the youngest, but they're, younger. So this lady should have friends, Bible studies, groups that she's doing. If she's so involved in the church, are you baking the brownies for the bake sale so that them babies can go get baptized somewhere special? Like, she's not busy enough to be this concerned. But I was watching this with my husband. We both thought this was weird. I think the only way James is going to be successful in love, because you could tell that he struggles with the balance, especially in the Black community, of respecting his mother and his elder, but also wanting to live his own life. I think he needs to move away, as far away as he can from his parents. Sometimes it is good to move across the country, visit on holidays, because Alisia didn't want to deal with that mama. We know that. But she might have been more willing to deal with that mama if she knew that heifer lived across the country and she only had to see her on holidays and, maybe birthdays. But he don't need to move away from his mom so that she just can't have any access. And I do agree with James. I don't have a relationship with my in-laws on my husband's side of the family. No beef. They never show too much interest. I accepted it. I leave it there. It's easier. Why try to force something? And vice versa. My husband doesn't have a relationship with my mom's side in terms of her being his in-law. And we leave it there. There's no drama. There's no beef. There's no nothing. So people need to stop putting that pressure and just be with your partner. That's who life is supposed to be.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Because it's not conducive to your relationship by making sure this relationship has to matter. It has to matter because in true reality, they're not in the marriage with you. They don't see the day to day. They don't see the, bullet holes and stab wounds and all of life coming down. They only see you for the moments that y'all come together and where you have to show up together. That's the only time they see you, unless you're running telling your business, which you should not be doing to your parents. Because my mom don't know nothing about my relationship, not a damn thing. She don't know the hard times. She don't know the good times. She don't know nothing. She just know he there until I say he's not. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it always should be. My mom should never know any situation that goes on between me and my partner. Because at the end of the day, we're going to go through it. We're going to have our good days. We're going to have our bad days. We're going to have exciting times. We're going to have rough times. It's all a cycle. And so it's not conducive to always forego everything to make sure your partner and your parent has a great relationship, because they may not. And that's okay. Like, we need to make sure that we change the narrative that that's okay if they don't have a great relationship. But we're telling James that you may have to move in that way where your mother is completely separate from your life. Y'all, it's fine for y'all to have y'all relationship. And if her and whoever you end up with don't have a relationship, that's not a bad thing. It's just not. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, because she's not going to change. And the reality of it is the generation of James is mine and our host here, James, is we are not the generation that is heavily in church. We are connected to God, but we may connect through a Bible app instead of a Sunday sermon. We may watch a church service such as Pastor Mike Jr.'s service instead of going. So if James wants to find a woman that his mom is going to accept, he's either going to need to stick to church and still keep her separate because his mom clearly gets jealous, I think, or he needs to just be away from his family so that he could truly live his own life. You can be close to your family while also being away from them. And maybe being away would actually be the thing to show Miss Charlize, like, because you could tell she's not a bad person. She's just judgmental as it relates to religion. And it's not her job to judge anybody on the quality of person that they are, especially if they're not coming for her. So what a terrible way for her to end the show. I knew this was coming though.
She was exhausting. Now, out of all three of the mamas, she was definitely the most exhausting of them all. Because it was kind of like, man, you too hard to please. You're too hard. Like, that's why I said the concept of the show does not work for a full time. Like, it would be great if like the moms came in an episode or two. But when you have the whole process, yeah, this does not work. That's why 2 out of the 3 gentlemen walked away alone. I know a lot of it was because of their mamas. I know a lot of it was because of either their dynamics with their mothers or the fact that the mother is too involved. So, yeah. So, James was another one, like Chad, that walked away with nobody. So, that leaves us now with Josh and Oma. So, Josh comes in Oma's room. They're about to get, the next task. But before they do so, he explains what happened last night. And he said that while he was sleeping, Tamaris knocked on the door and walked into the room. And, one thing led to another. And I don't know why Omar said, oh, baby coming soon. I was like, the fuck? I mean, yeah, that can happen, but I'm sure he used protection. And to me, it just seemed like when I watched it back the second time, I felt like the producers told her to go into the room. I do. I feel like the producers told her to go into the room and I don't feel like she made that decision on her own. I don't. Based on how she reacted at the end of this, I don't think that was something she did on her own. I think that was something to make it interesting. They had to make the show interesting at some point, and I feel like they played her in the end, but that's neither here nor there. So it's now time for Josh to make his decision on there. So how he looks at it is that he walked into this being fully attracted to Tamaris, but not really having much of the chemistry with her, or not really having much about her. And with Shambrielle, it was like he walked into it having a lot of camaraderie, a lot of things. Like she showed me who she was, but he wasn't as physically attracted to her. I didn't like that he said that. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Once again, with this family, it is something weird with skin tone, but that's neither here nor there. So the ladies are walking up, it's decision day. So they do a weird angle. So we'll focus on Tamaris. So he said Tamaris know that, he's enjoyed her. This has been a great time. And he just feels like he would love to be exclusive with her, but he knows that's not the right decision for him right now. So he eliminates her. Now, I'm going to come back to this because I didn't like that he said that, especially because Shambrielle has been on my channel commenting on this. So I'm going to have something to say about this when we get to the end of this. So put a pin in this. We're going to go to Shambrielle. So he goes to Shambrielle saying, you show me everything, the real you. I got to see the businesswoman. I got to see the fun girl. I got to see everything. And he goes, I really enjoyed all parts of you. I really enjoyed everything that you brought to me. And, I want to know, would you be exclusive with me? And Shambrielle was shocked. She was like, wait, what? What just happened? Wait, what? And Shambrielle gives him the yes. And I'm like, I'm happy my girl won because I predicted this last episode. I had no idea she was going to win. I'm happy she won. But, and I hate I have to say this, he picked the right one because she, on paper and physically, she is stunning. Great career, great head on her shoulders, real down to earth girl. I love Shambrielle. I feel like Shambrielle, he's out of your league. You deserve somebody better than that. I'm sorry, you just do. Especially because now I want to know, when you watch this back, how did you feel about him telling Tamaris he would like to be exclusive with her, but he knows right now she's not what he needs? Because that's not saying, I just don't think you're the better woman for me. I just think I just can't be with you right now because I think I need somebody who's better.
He did make it seem though like Tamaris was the type of woman who may have been more materialistic versus into him. He has spoken about that, and I don't want to negate his experience. I was watching this with my husband, and he also said that Tamaris did give the vibes of somebody who may have heard that he got some money and saw them dollar signs and amped it up. I don't actually think production told her to get into the bed. It was very strange behavior from her. So I do kind of understand why he didn't choose her, but I don't like that he said that he ideally would want to choose her. It makes it feel like Shambrielle is his second choice and not the optimal choice. He had to build up to actually liking her. And he kept saying, and his friends and family kept saying that she's not his type. But, sometimes dating people we've never dated before, sometimes that works out for us. I tried that with my husband and we're still together. And a lot of people that can work out with, but then at the same time, a lot of people that does not work out. So I'm more so just curious to know if they are still together as a couple. But I do feel like Shambrielle has the strength and personality in who she is individually to deal with his African family. Because if the rest of the family is anything like Oma and that brother that came on here, then you got to be a strong personality individual.
I just feel like she deserves a lot better.
She does, but we have to also remember we only see a piece of it because it's the show. So maybe there's more to Josh than what he shows. So. Maybe he is financially stable. He could be a good guy. He doesn't seem like a bad person, but I just didn't like the secret of keeping what you do for a living, especially when it involves the limelight, away from these ladies, because that's a whole lifestyle change and adjustment. But it feels like he wanted to choose Tamaris, and I don't like that.
That's how I felt too. Okay, so it wasn't just me. I was listening to his words and I was listening to his actions, and I was watching. I was like, okay, you knew by picking Tamaris, it would run with the stereotype of your family and everything that we're thinking of you. So you go, because like you said, it doesn't seem like Shambrielle was his first choice. And that's what I did not like, because don't play Shambrielle like that. Don't play like she's not aesthetically pleasing like Tamaris is, because she's just as beautiful. So it just makes me mad that that was his words. And I want to know how Shambrielle, I can't wait till she comes on my channel, because I'm going to ask her that question directly. How did you feel with him saying it in that context? Because he could have said, I just don't think we're a good fit. I just don't. I think that, you were a great girl. It was lovely and nice knowing you and everything. And I think you brought a lot to the table. I just think right now in my life, you would not be the best fit for me. Not that because he said, I want to be exclusive with you. He said those words. So that's why I was like, and like Tamaris, she was thrown off by that too, because it was like, wait a minute, you want to be exclusive with me, but what? Because it was like, no, that's not what you say to somebody. That's not, because you're leading her to believe that it's something that's causing you to not be exclusive other than what she presented. It seemed like it's something in you that is not doing this. And that's why I said it felt like Shambrielle got second choice, even though she was the choice. And I didn't like that at all. I felt like for me, I would have been pissed watching this back. Now, I know Shambrielle had to relive all of this all over again, and I can't wait to get her opinion. But I would be pissed. I would be that he said that, because it would be like, no, I'm not nobody's second choice. You're not going to play me like that. You're not going to play me for a fool. So I want to know too: are they still together, or was this just for the show, or did she see something later on that she just didn't like? Because I don't know. She did a really good job in the comments, not saying too much but giving just enough. So I guess I can't wait to have her on my show.
Because the girl is intelligent.
Yeah.
But I really would like to. She does have a lively personality, and I stand by my statement. I do think she has the personality to do something in her field of work with mortgage or, house hunting, things like that, since HGTV is working with OWN. I'd like to see a lot of these shows on OWN, in my opinion, are really good in terms of concept compared to other channels. They just need to, in my opinion, provide more opportunities for the more memorable people or the go-getters that come across, the shows. They need to do something.
Yeah, I think she would be great on another reality TV show. I think she would do good on like a Family Empire or something, in real estate. We would love to see that for Shambrielle. I definitely want to see her on my screen more on something. But he reveals to Oma that she is the pick. So another question I'm gonna have for Shambrielle when she gets on my channel is, when did you find out that Oma wasn't his mama? I want to know, because did they reveal it through the season? I missed it if they did. Mrs. Beth, do you know if they revealed that Oma wasn't really his mama?
In the very beginning.
Did they?
Yeah, in the very beginning. It was
I'm
very
going to watch it because I don't remember. Because I don't think they ever revealed that. Shambrielle, when you watch, when did they reveal it to y'all that wasn't his actual mama? Because I swore I missed that. And if I missed it, I'll stand corrected.
If they didn't reveal it, to me, it's not even a big deal, because that makes it more realistic in terms of dating. Generally, when you date somebody, you don't meet the mom until things get serious. So in that case, they might be lucky. It's unfortunate that the other two men just could not find anybody.
Well, I don't think that's unfortunate, because the issues is they moms. For different reasons. I think Charlize is way too overbearing when it comes to James. And I feel like Katina and Chad's issues are deep rooted in his childhood. And I feel like, to me, that was more revealed in his trial with these ladies than anything else. We didn't see how much of a gentleman he was. We didn't see too much of, how he would treat a woman as far as being in situationships, as they described on the show. We just saw the dynamic between him and Katina be contentious this entire time. And it wasn't until I think they had one endearing moment. I think they were at a dinner table or something where he gave her a compliment and she damn near broke down and cried. It was so it is unfortunate that they didn't walk away with anyone, but I would rather them walk away with nobody than for them to pick somebody, they get in a relationship, and then we see the issues. We see that Charlize will never let up on Alisia, has she said yes, and we will see the potentials of Chad ended up with a woman who, and then later on something disrespectful happens because that's the energy that it gave me. It gave me the energy that he will in some way be disrespectful later on. So, I don't know. It's just yeah. But I'm happy for Shambrielle. I'm curious to see where they are in today's time, if they're still together, if or if they're not together, what happened, what was the relationship like? Did he ever sign with a team? Like, do we get to see him on our football screen? Because I am a football guy, so are we going to see him at some point on the team? I'm curious to know if that happens. Because we wish Josh well, we really do. I just really wish he walked with a little bit more authenticity than he did. I just do. That's just my opinion. And anything else you want to add to that, Mrs. Best?
Only thing I will say is that if they try to do a season 2 of Somebody's Son, to do a better job, just redo the concept or something. I don't know if this is going to continue to work, but good job to everybody who put up with being on the show.
Yeah, because that couldn't have been easy. Especially shout out to Alisia for not being disrespectful. I definitely want to shout her out because I didn't do it last week. I want to shout her out for not being disrespectful and taking everything that Charlize threw at her with stride, and to show that you are really better than the comments that she made, even though it did hit you in a raw spot. I'm glad that you took the high road and didn't allow her to see you squirm or see you crumble because you make certain life decisions that to me were not as bad as she made it out to be. Because the fact that you worked at a nightclub and you were the host, it could have been a whole lot worse. You could have just been an exotic dancer. And hell, I wouldn't even have judged you for that because times is hard, y'all. Times is so difficult right now. And the fact that we are in this country with today's society going on right now, hell, I might get my ass up there and lift my leg up. Hell, I don't know. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to judge somebody for that. I just couldn't do it because you never know what people do extra on the side just to try to make it. Like, you just don't know. And even if it is to make you feel good by getting your hair done, getting your nails done, buying clothes and stuff, something that it feels you from the inside, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting a second job that pays well so that you can do that stuff. Like, I don't see an issue with that. Like, Mrs. Best, do you see an issue with that?
Not at all. I need OWN to do better. Put effort into something outside of boring ass, weak ass love and marriage. I said what I said because they have a lot of good ideas, but they're just not executing them right. A show like this definitely could have used a host compared to a show like Never Ever Met, and I just hope they do it better next time. But in the meantime,
maybe therapy session.
Oh, therapy. I mean, it's not, I don't think they're there long enough for that. That's why I think a host would be better. But they also need to be psychologically screening people for these shows like they're supposed to and digging deep and taking their time with casting. And that's where OWN lacks. They always rush casting. But what will you replace this show with?
Never Married Huntsville.
Oh, when is it back? Is it back so soon?
I think it comes back next month.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it comes back next month on, I believe, the same. I think it premieres the same weekend that King's Court does. I think we have shows that are back to back with each other.
Oh, that is okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, but that was Somebody's Son, y'all. Very short because it was the finale, and we have one less cast collection here. We lost Katina and Chad last episode because he never did get his pick, and so we just had Josh and James to focus with, and only one of them walked away with somebody, and that somebody hopefully will be on my channel in a week or so, or a couple weeks or so. Hopefully, I want to get her on my show as quickly as possible because I want to. These questions are fresh in my head. I need to know some things. So once again, shout out to Miss Katina. Shout out to Shambrielle for being in my comments. I appreciate you guys so much. You are getting eyes on me that probably would not be on me had you guys not commented. So thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate you. And this won't be the last of Somebody's Son, at least not until I get that interview. So I will see you guys on my next recap. Until then, bye guys.